Hey y'all, and welcome back to the third part of this series where I show you how to swatch Copics on your Copic Swatch Cards, and I'm sharing with you the Copics I have. As I've mentioned previously, I don't have all the available Copic Sketch Markers. I'm building my collection slowly, but I will share with you the ones I do have. Part 3, we're going to go through and swatch all of yellow, red. We're going to swatch all of yellow that I have. And we're going to swatch all of yellow, green. So that's what's going to be in part 3. Let's dive right in. Before I swatch, I will just give you a quick reminder that we're going to swatch with the chiseled harder brush tip for that smooth line. Typically you'll see in my videos that I render and color my fashion illustrations, my paper dolls, with the brush tip, but this one works better for the swatches. Starting off with yellow red 0000, which is pale chiffon. So this one might be a little hard to see. It is so light. Coming in a little closer, but you see I do 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes. That's the buildability with pale chiffon. It's a very light tone, but can work really well with skin tones. Sometimes with hair is what I have found I've used it for. And for sheer fabrics, if you're into fashion illustration and fashion design. Next up is YR000, and it's silk. Also one of these very fine, almost transparent colors. But this one, as you can see, has a little bit more of that orangey undertones. Like this one almost looks like there's nothing on the paper, but you can see the yellow compared to something like this. And again, it builds up really nicely. So for those finer fabrics, like chiffons, things of that nature, these can be really good to get you that nice flow and transparency overlaid on skin tone. Skipping over to YR01, Peach Puff. This is again a tone that's on the lighter side, but again a lot more of those orangey undertones. Oh. Is my Peach Puff dried out? Okay, so it seems my Peach Puff is needing of a refill. The sketch side is still got enough that I'm getting some, but not enough on the chiseled tip to get that nice stroke. So we're gonna skip this one and we'll come back once I've refilled it. We'll see if tipping it on to its side here will help. But if not, we'll come back to that one. Moving on to YR02, light orange. So since we are in the yellow reds, we are going to see these oranges coming up now. And this is a beautiful light orange, great tone to work with, really beautiful color. Skipping ahead to YR07, cadmium orange. This is your true kind of orange. Look at that. That is your true bright orange, your secondary color on the color wheel. Really great tone. And one of the colors I've recently added to my collection for a particular paper doll, but trust that I'm totally blanking out. It may have been for something Halloween related, but this is a good basic orange to have in your collection. Next up is YR09, Chinese orange, another really rich orange, beautiful. Look at that, so vibrant. really great color. And again, these are kind of sister colors that you could work together if you wanted to create nice shadows and depth, and they would work well with light orange. Next up is YR14 Caramel. And again, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. This is where you can really see those lovely yellowy tones mixed with the red for a much more, I mean, kind of like caramel. It has that burnt orange effect, which is really, really beautiful. Next up is YR23 Yellow Ochre, which, if you are Bob Ross fans, you'll recognize that name as one of the colors he always used and had on his palette. And this is kind of a very mustardy, muted yellow, and that works really well. It can kind of convey, I think it looks like a good mustard for tones for those kinds of looks. And I purchased it for a group of paper dolls I am currently working on, so I can't tell you about that just yet. Next up is YR30 Macadamia Nut. I love this color, which may be hard to see. This has a very light yellowy tone. It has that kind of nuttiness like macadamia nuts, which I think is a great name for it. This one, fun tip for y'all, if you're looking to create blonde hair in your fashion illustrations, fashion designs, YR30 Macadamia Nut pairs really nicely with E42 Sand White. These two can create a great blonde effect. You would start with YR30, the macadamia nut, throughout the hair, and then bring in E42 for the roots and anywhere you want it to be a little darker, and to add that dimension for a kind of traditional blonde. These two is something I use a lot when illustrating blonde hair for my paper dolls. Now, you might be wondering, as you see these cards, what do these symbols represent? All 358 colors are available in Copic Sketch. That's what I use. But there's also Copic Classic and Copic Kayo. And so that's what the circle is for Kayo and the square is for Classic. So you know if that color comes in those other marker types. The last one that I have for this sheet is YR68 Orange. And that really is your kind of classic orange. I would say pumpkin orange, but we do have a pumpkin, well, we have a pumpkin yellow, but this is that very Halloween kind of orange, and it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous tone of orange. So that is what we have for the yellow red sheet. These are the colors I have. Peach Puff will have to come back to. I'm going to need a refill for that, but that's okay because whenever I add more markers to my collection, I'll be back to share with y'all as I fill out my sketch cards. All right, next card is yellow. I only have 6, and as you can see, this is a much smaller group to begin with, so let's get started. First up is Y000 Pale Lemon. Similar to Pale Chiffon and Silk, these are these very light, beautiful colors. This, you can see how there's a little bit more yellow, almost a little bit more green too. And they layer really nicely. They're really good for those kinds of light, whimsical fabrics where we have a lot of flow and movement and we want that sheer effect. But it's also just a great tone on its own. Skipping way ahead to Y19 Napoli Yellow. This really has that Italian lemon rich yellow color, but it's also a little bit more muted than just say a bright yellow, what you would typically see on the color wheel. So I love this color. This is a great tone. And again, it pairs with some of the other ones we're going to see here in a moment. Coming into Y21, Buttercup Yellow. So Buttercup Yellow, much softer, creamy, kind of makes me think of butter, and beautiful buildability right there. I love this tone. Next up is Y26, Mustard. This is really that mustard kind of tone, but if we take a look to compare to Yellow Ochre, you can see the difference of how which one has a little bit more of the red, which one has more of the yellow. Both are beautiful, and I feel with mustard you could also kind of use it for khaki. It's a great color, and also one that I've purchased for a group I'm currently working on of PaperDolls, which I'm super excited and I can't wait to share with y'all. Next up is Y32 Cashmere. This was one of the colors we were actually required to get while I was in school, while I was at university, because it can also pair well for skin tone. So cashmere, beautiful. You can see the warmth. You can see how it's softer than the Buttercup Yellow, less yellow in it. And it's very creamy. It's a beautiful color, and it can work for skin tone. Last up for this group that I have is Y38 Honey. This is a great, it's funny that to me it's more of an orangey tone, but there is a lot of yellow in it, and it makes me think of, well, wait a minute, didn't we just have that with caramel? But in fact, there's a lot more orange and warmth in this, and this is more muted. Both are really great colors. For this group, as you can see, I don't have too many of the yellow family. I'm not a huge, yellow is a great color. I don't use it too much, not with my designs or my PaperDolls. But we've got some great tones here. And again, some of these are for a group I'm currently working on, so I can't wait to learn more about them and explore them some more. Okay, next up in this part 3 of the series is Yellow Green. I have 6 of the colors here, and I'm excited about these ones. I really love green. I'm more into the green and the blue greens, but I got a bunch of these for my Mother Nature paper doll group I did that was spring to fall, so this progression of greens to browns. I love exploring that. Nature is a great source of inspiration for me. First up for me is YG07 Acid Green. How fun is that color? I haven't used this one too much because, again, it's for a bunch of groups that I've yet to complete, to render, so I haven't got a chance to play with this one too much, but it's very grassy, it's very bright, and yeah, it is that kind of that neon but not neon. So acid green, super cool color. Next up is YG09 Lettuce Green, and again we're going to do 1, 2, 3. And it's not the end of the world if it goes out of the line a little bit, out of the bounds. This is like, I don't want to say true green because there probably is a true green, but this is such a fun green. And also, this is the ones I keep mentioning in this video and in the previous part about the yellow and the yellow greens. When I'm talking about this group, it actually is all the same group, very bright colored looks, but it's themed. That's as much as I can say. Next up is YG13 Chartreuse. So whenever I think of chartreuse, I think of a much more yellowy color. This is got this beautiful softness. I really love this green. It's got a delicateness to it, and I love the buildability that it has. It could almost work with acid green. They slightly clash, but certainly the three here can kind of play on each other nicely. Skipping ahead to YG45 Cobalt Green. How gorgeous is that green? This was one of the ones that I purchased for my Mother Nature paper doll because I had a lot of greenery, a lot of leaves, and I wanted to create a really nice progression and depth with the different greens. It has a softness, it builds up beautifully. Definitely one I recommend. Skipping ahead to YG or Yellow Green 67 Moss. A little more moody, a little more muted, but also perfect for leaves and nature and stuff of that variety. Or if that's what's your inspiration for your collection, for your fashion illustration. In my case, I use this for that group of paper dolls that I did the progression of colors, the way they change from spring to fall. Of course, you can find all my paper dolls on my channel. I've got them in different groups, different playlists. So if you're ever curious to check out what I'm referring to, which ones I'm mentioning, everything is there and available for you all to check out. The last one in my YG yellow-green group is YG91 Putty. This is where we can really see the yellow, in my opinion, for this green. I kind of think of this as a khaki, and it's great for that. So any kind of that inspiration, if you're going for military-inspired looks for your collection, for your designs, for your fashion illustrations, this is a good one to have. All right, so that wraps part 3 of the series as I swatch all my Copics on the Copic Swatch Cards. If you're curious, in part 2, I go through the reds and the red violets. And part 1, I really introduce to you how to do this and all the blue violets and the violets that I have. So check those out in the playlist. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know the drill. I can't wait to share with you more colors. In part 4, we'll explore green and blue-green. I have quite a bit of these colors, and I can't wait to share them with you. So I will see you in the next video.